I mean, growing up in the Caribbean, we always had a radio on, so I think maybe that's why we were listening to music, interviews. Like my aunt had one of her friends worked at a radio, and I would love when she would be like, "Oh, what do you want to listen to?" And we'd like send him a suggestion, and it would play on the radio, and I get so excited as a child that, oh my god, someone can do that. So yeah, and now we're here testing this out, and we're learning as we go. So
Right.
I am joined today by my dear friend, mental health advocate, and community builder, Teya, and we're gonna explore the journey that led to founding a safe space. So Teya is a dedicated mental health advocate and activist who has created free resources for BIPOC communities, focusing on mental health, physical, and spiritual well-being. Her life's purpose is rooted in empowering others and building spaces that invite peace, joy, and opportunity. Teya's journey began early, volunteering at her grandmother's soup kitchen and witnessing the power of service firsthand. In 2015, she launched her first mentorship program, supporting over 100 adults in
Young adults.
young adult in Charlotte, North Carolina. 100? Then that's crazy. That's a lot of people. And in 2020, she took things even further by founding a safe space mentor platform and movement committed to intentional healing and support. So, did I say everything right?
I think you got it.
All right.
Thank
I
you.
I know that you've also mentioned it in previous interviews, and it was also mentioned here, where like your grandmother's soup kitchen was a big influence. So I really want to know when that clicked for you as a child that you were called to do this kind of work. Do you remember the specific moment?
Well, she had her soup kitchen, I think before I was even born, but ever since I was like a toddler, I would be going with her to the soup kitchen, pack boxes. It was in the school which she was teaching at.
Mm-hmm.
And so she would get the families involved, the kids involved. My whole family was a part of it. And during the holidays, we would bring food baskets to the local families in the area. We would bring families out to eat for dinner. And I think the most special moment was the crop walk that she would have every year. So
Mm-hmm.
people would do the walk, which was like a hike, and they would bring food
Wow,
to
that's so cute.
supply the soup kitchen. And it was like it was a small town. It was in upstate New York,
Mm-hmm.
where that's where my grandma is. And it was like a big moment for everybody. And I think everybody really enjoyed being a part of something bigger,
Yeah,
and it brought a lot of joy into people's lives. And, just seeing the impact that it made and the joy that it brought the families, knowing that, they didn't really have to do anything to receive support, that
definitely.
people were
Wow.
just looking out for them, was really special. And yeah, I think to just witness that and be a part of that was kind of stuck with me. And my grandma always would just instill things in my mind, like if you're not doing something to, you know, help or
Mm-hmm.
support this world in a better way, then like what are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was definitely always like, okay, so what am I gonna do
Mm-hmm.
to create change or be a part of like a bigger impact? And yeah, so I always just been brainstorming since then, since a kid, like what is gonna be
Wow.
my thing?
Your thing. Yeah.
And
That's
yeah.
so beautiful. So during like your teenage years when like everybody was just focused on applying to college, what did this chapter look like for you?
So I actually did not go to college straight out
Mm-hmm.
of high school. I actually was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I knew I wanted to come to New York City to model. And I was picked up by a boutique agency that had me move out to New York at like straight out of high school. So I was like 17, almost turning 18.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was crazy, like model housing. I was going to the clubs underage, doing photo
Now
shoots.
you out
Like,
here living like that life, the lifestyle.
oh my God, I was this country girl with like long blonde curly hair, and they were like, "No, we're gonna cut your hair into a bob. We want it to be jet black." Like, I just turned into this whole another person, and I
So it was really like that intense, like the stuff that we used to see like America's Next Top
yes, I
Models
mean, I
and the
don't think it's
wow.
like that anymore as much.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like now maybe not as much, but you were in that era of like when it
I was
was really.
Yes, I was definitely in that era, and they were also like telling me I could be only a certain weight for my height because I'm about 5'8" and a half. So to
Mm-hmm.
look taller,
Taller,
the thing
yeah.
was you'd have to be carry a certain weight. My agency would measure me every time I would go to see them. So it was a lot. I think it especially at that young of an age, I was like, oh my God, I don't know about this. So I moved back to Charlotte, North Carolina after being in New York for about a year. And I was like, okay, what can I do? So I started this organization called the Project Q. And
Okay.
it was really supposed to be for people who wanted to model but didn't think
Mm-hmm.
that they could for whatever reason. So, it was about modeling, but really it was about just finding your confidence and finding community. I really just wanted people to feel comfortable in their skin. And because I had
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of experience, I thought I could share that experience with my community back home. And so I put together like a team of photographers, local photographers, and makeup artists, and we would do shoots. I opened up a studio out there. And we would just like have creative hangouts.
How old were you at this point?
I was like 19 and it turned into like a
That's
whole
amazing.
business. Like it was very successful. I had raised money putting on a fashion show out there, and I took about 30 young adults from Charlotte to Brooklyn, New York, and I got like a brownstone for it was about a week and a half. And during that week, I had set up like castings for everybody for New York Fashion Week for agencies. Some people got signed, some people didn't, but it was really just like a dope experience. I
Yeah.
reached out to
Wow.
photographers in New York and like had them do shoots of the group that I brought. So it was kind of like a retreat, but like a retreat for creatives. That was like
I
my
mean,
first.
yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like it's beautiful to see way before we had a safe space, there was still
Yeah,
like that, like I would say muck up, but
it was. That was like the beta.
yeah, the beta, yes, the beta, so the muck up, like just kind of like something being born, but it reiterates that saying of like no experience is wasted. You got to learn and like pretty much in the dark a little bit,
Yeah.
So then what happened? Like what was
So
the
from there, I was very overwhelmed because there was like, it was 30 of us out in New York City. Some people were younger than me, some people were older than me. And I was responsible for all of them during that week and a half that we were there. I was like the mama bear for all these
yeah,
adults. And yeah, it was successful, but I was just like, I was a kid, I was 19, I was
yeah,
like overly stimulated. I had received some opportunities to stay as a model. And so I decided to stay in New York. And
she was
I was
back.
kind of like, yeah, I was like, I'm not ready to do this yet. Like it was
Yeah,
bigger than me at the time.
yeah.
And I tried to give the business to a friend of mine, and then it just kind of fell through after that. And it was a beautiful thing. I had it for about a year and a half. And since that time, I really just modeled since then. But
So how was coming back to New York at that time? Having like okay, you had that first experience and then you had that second experience.
yes, that was my life. I like was barely eating, moving from place to place, trying to have these gigs hold me down. Just I was, to be honest, I was smoking, which was like to keep my appetite
Yeah.
down. Like just not a very healthy lifestyle. And also
Yeah.
like I mean, I was a beautiful girl at that young age, but to me at the time, I did not have any confidence. It was just like because you're always molding into whatever the industry wants you to look like, for me, that was my experience.
Yeah.
And so mentally, it was like a struggle for me. I definitely feel like I lost myself over those
Mhm.
years. So I took a little mini break. I moved to upstate New York and randomly got a job as an optician.
Not model
That,
to optician. I love it.
yeah, that was not, it was great. Like I was able to like find some stability
Mhm.
as a person and take a break from the whole fashion industry lifestyle. Got to calm down, enjoy like the upstate nature and like a more peaceful, slow lifestyle and work on my mental health. So that's when I had like more clear time to say, okay, like how can I come back into social impact and community building and like what does that look like? So
Mhm.
I started dreaming up safe space and didn't
So
really know that.
at that point, what year were how old were we?
This
All
is a
right.
couple years later. I was 22. I finally had gotten my own apartment. And yeah, I had just been dreaming like about what safe space would be, what it would look like. I didn't really think it would be possible at the time because I'm like, how am I going to
Yeah.
work a full-time job and open up a nonprofit and do all of the things I want to do with the nonprofit? And then the pandemic happened, so I had even more time to think about it. And then I met my partner that I'm with
We love
now.
Rob.
We love
Shout out to
her,
Rob.
right? And he was just like, let's just do it. Like, quit your job,
Wow.
come move in with me. We gonna start this nonprofit. So he really expedited that process for me. He really
Mm-hmm.
believed in it and was really down for it. So I was able to really pour into it and really safe space. Like I was not really modeling as much, but I was getting a few gigs.
Yeah.
And I got like two modeling gigs. One was for like Walmart Canada, and one was for I think It Cosmetics. And those paid for the first two retreats in full that we had held for the nonprofit.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So then it was history from there.
And I know that you've always have been wanting to maintain that a safe space be everything just be free and affordable.
Yeah.
You're always like, hey, we got to pivot because I want this to be accessible to people.
Yeah.
And I know that running a nonprofit can be like rewarding, but also like very demanding. So how do you find time to pour back into yourself?
I think I've just started learning that like this last 2 years, I would say, because when I first started the nonprofit, like I just wanted to accomplish all these things. Like you said, accessibility is very important to
Yeah.
me. It still is. But I don't think I was prioritizing myself, or even I didn't even know how to like delegate to other people
Yeah.
really to support me. So that made things harder. And then really it started when I mean, before I met Jazz, I was already thinking about like building
Yeah,
out
I
specific
actually like.
teams.
I'm glad that you brought that up because that was also gonna
Yeah.
be one of my questions as well. Bringing other people into the vision, and then also within the leadership aspect of the vision. What was
Yeah.
that like? What was that like? That conversation with Jazzy or all that?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely just by the time I met her, I already knew that I like wanted to have a
Mm-hmm.
team and this time the way I wanted to build out my team is I wanted to like learn how to delegate tasks so that it wasn't solely on me. Like if you want something to
Yeah.
be bigger than you have to have a team for it to grow. You can't get there on your own.
I'm glad you touched on that as well because it's like so important. I was listening to this podcast and this person who wrote a book, and he was saying how like we have this idea of the sole inventor because he was talking about
Yeah.
inventions. For example, with Thomas Edison and the light bulb. Back in the day, they would only give patent to like one person, but there was a team of people working on those things. And I
Right.
think a lot of times because history only kind of remembers that, so then we're like, well, one person did this, so I
Yeah.
have to do things by myself. But then there is a team that actually
Yeah.
like help with that, but we don't know, but we just have this idea. But anyways,
Yeah, and like
continue.
I'm not trying to. I'm about to have a baby. I want to move to Japan one day. Like I can't. I can't be doing it. No, but yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely is so important. And like, I think the most important thing with finding a team is like finding people that have the capacity and like also really share the same dream as you, and care about the whatever the business is just as much as you do is really important, because sometimes you'll like somebody and you'll think, oh,
yeah,
they do great work. I want them to be a part of my team. But then it's like, does that person actually have the time? Do they have another business that they're growing that maybe, you know what I mean? They want to focus their time on.
yeah,
Like, who are these people that you're bringing on? And for Jazz, like, I just met her at a really great time. She had a spa for 10 years that she had recently closed. And she we met at a safe space event and she had already mentioned to me that she was interested in working with us before she came to the event, so it was like our first time meeting, and she just kept emphasizing to me that like she cared about what we
you were
did,
doing, yeah.
what we were doing, and that she wanted to be a part of it, and like whatever it was she was down for it, she was here to help, like let's go. And I just I kept being like, okay, okay, I don't know, we'll see. Like write me a list of all the things that you need help with and let's figure it out. And I'm like, okay, this girl. Like, let's see. So we started having like meetings, like brainstorming ideas of how we could work together. And then I was just like, I asked her if she wanted to come on our Mexico retreat with us.
Hmm.
And I got really sick on the Mexico retreat. I actually got E. coli. Jazz's first time
Yeah.
working with us. And so she had to pretty much take over for me because I was down and out. Yeah. And she really had my back. And like, I didn't have to delegate anything to her. I didn't have to ask anything of her. She just kind of like stepped up and like did it. And I was like, oh shit, like that's what not everybody's gonna do that, but that's what I need. Like, I need somebody who's like, just knows. Like, it's
No,
just like,
yeah, it's just
you know,
instinct. Yeah,
instinct. That's something really special. And she had that instinct. And I was like, okay, like, I can trust her. I can trust her with this baby and know that she's gonna put as much care into it as I
yeah,
would. And then yeah, and then we just kept doing different events and retreats together and then we got the opportunity for the studio. Yeah.
yeah.
It's been 2 years. It seems like we've been together, working together for way longer, but it's only been
Yes.
like 2 years.
And so I think when I met you guys, and then you were like, oh, we just at the time you kind of like still were new into knowing each other. I thought
Yeah.
you guys knew each other forever.
Yeah.
Just like the interaction was just, I was like, oh, like they've
Yeah.
been best friends for a long time. So it's
Yeah.
just like, wow,
Just
it's
God sent. It's been really magical. And then, yeah, you, Merv, Mora, like all these
yeah,
people just kind of like came, I
kind of
mean,
came, yeah.
came around the
So
same
how did
time.
really
I mean,
how
I
did
knew
you
you and Merv before, but the team kind of built at the same time.
yeah, how did
Yeah.
you meet more?
Mora at the same event I met Jazz. So it's only been 2 years with Mora too. And Mora was a therapist on the panel that we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And Maura was like, I'd love to be a part of the organization. Like, and I was like, oh, we have a free therapy initiative. Our free therapy initiative offers free therapy services and we offer support groups every month.
So wait, Mora was not doing that before?
No,
Oh my god, I thought Mora was the one doing that forever. Like what?
I know. If time flies.
What?
Yeah. So, and then, yeah, Maura just became a really big part of the organization and we built out a board and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously I love the organization. I'm always like supporting and sharing and the places we'll go. So
Well, I saw that about you put together that you had invited me a part of. I said, "Oh, this girl's a boss. We need her on the team."
yeah.
Actually, Rob was like, "We need to get making moves on the team."
What has your personal journey taught you about showing up for others?
Taught me about showing up for others.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's really been my journey is showing up for others. So I would say I had to learn how to show up for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, like, well, speaking of that, I would say that with showing up for others, I had to learn like what is the word codependent and like what isn't,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to fix somebody
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
just really
Try.
just trying to provide the support and let
Mm-hmm.
them independently fix themselves. You know what I mean?
How did you kind of manage the difference between those two?
I think just like having boundaries. I think that I would get so invested in like it being my job to, I don't want to say heal somebody, but like,
But yeah.
you know, get somebody to where they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it didn't happen, and then like maybe even the relationship fell apart, I would be like really crushed about it and like be really harping on it when like it's not my job to fix anybody, and I'm trying to fix myself. I'm not perfect. I'm a
Yeah.
human too. And then when you give out that energy like you're here to fix somebody and then people find out you're actually a human too and you're still fixing yourself, they're like, "Wait, hold up. You got problems too." And then that's the thing. So I really just had to learn how to be more vulnerable with people about like
Mm-hmm.
me just this is who I am first and like I'm just providing this resource for you to then find support and be on your own journey.
Yeah.
And then I just have to let go of whatever the outcome is. I just know that if I'm putting out positive energy, if I'm putting out, you know, good vibes, good
Yeah.
resources, then that's all that matters. Like, and if it's not received or whatever, that's okay. At
Yeah.
least I did it and that's it. So I really just had to learn how to just like let things go, take a step back and like just realize that I'm imperfect and so is everyone else and it's not my job, really. Yeah.
So with that, what is something that you've unlearned about success while building, like a safe space, something that is so rooted in care?
I would say that what I've learned is that success is not always tied to monetary
Mm-hmm.
value. That's the goal because we need monetary
Yeah.
value to have financial freedom
Spanish.
to continue providing these resources.
Yeah.
But I think that along the way, when you're working to achieve success,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it doesn't always look like fat pockets. And so
Because
you don't
yeah.
think that you're being
Successful.
successful,
Yeah.
although you're achieving all of these milestones. And so I would be achieving these things and I wouldn't feel like I was being
Not
successful because my
successful.
bank
Yeah.
account wasn't looking successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, looking back, I'm like, wow, like I did so much knowing so little. I did so much even by myself before I had
Yeah.
a team. And so I'm like, that's success.
Even like you starting like that first initiative, it's like, what? 19? That's amazing to just be able to like build something and by just providing like something for others by like
Yeah,
the kindness of your heart and knowing that, hey, I really want to contribute into making this person's dream come true.
right. Thank you.
So how did you like going back there, like how did you navigate, like because you said like people were mad at you, and how did you navigate that then? What was that like?
It was really tough because I was a teenager, so I cared about what everybody thought
Everything.
about me. So it was super tough. I probably wasn't making the best decisions back then as well, on top
Yeah.
of it all. And I also wasn't the most mature, so I didn't know how to like communicate
Yeah,
in a
because did
healthy
it did
way
it
to
did it
people.
look to them as if like you were selfish for like, okay, yeah,
It looked like that, and it looked like I just said peace, which
yeah,
I did kind of say peace in a way because I was just like overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God,
yeah,
like this is turning into something so big. I'm not ready. Like, I'm
yeah,
19 years old. My brain is not even developed yet.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, it was really tough. I was like really sad because that was like a really mini safe space,
Mm-hmm.
like we became a family. We spent a week together in that brownstone. We like
Yeah,
spent months together at the studio. We would have community events. We would do all kinds of things, go out to eat, dinners, movies. So it was
yeah,
really like losing a family of people,
yeah,
because it was community. Um, and I just kind of had to like start from square one and eventually I had to stop caring what people thought about me. And I think that was something that definitely helped me mature as an adult. And it also taught me like how to communicate better. Like if I could go back, I would definitely have maybe went back home for a time and put
yeah,
things in place and said my goodbyes properly.
yeah. But also like you were 19 with no tools. You know what I mean?
Right, I didn't
You're
know.
just learning as you go. Sometimes it's like,
Yeah,
it's obviously it's not in the best way. You made a mistake and you learn from it, which was very important.
right, exactly. And I think a lot of, the people that I supported back then now are like, oh yeah, she was just a kid.
Yeah,
A lot of us follow each other still and, support, like say
yeah.
hey. So
That's
no bad
nice.
blood. Yeah, definitely would have done some things better, but I think I just had to really stop caring what people thought and just, yeah, I had to take care of my mental health.
So now what does like healing mean to you now personally? Not like but just Taya. And also anyone who's watching this, if you have questions for Taya, just ask them in the chat or anything. So but yes, going back to the healing question.
I think healing for me definitely looks like taking breaks when I need to. Definitely prioritizing rest. I'm really good at that now. Saying no when I need to, just for my mental health. But also, like, healing definitely looks like communicating,
Mm.
how I feel to my partner, to my family, to my friends, to the people that I work with, to my community. Just being as transparent as possible, I think, is very healing.
Yeah.
And it has really helped me grow. I feel like it helped the business grow. Uh, and yeah, in your relationships and all of that, when you're not communicating properly, you got all these stresses going on in your brain, and that talk, that constant talk in your mind where you're like worried about things. When, say, like, if you're having a busy day and you just don't have the capacity to talk to somebody,
Yeah.
just being like, hey, like, I just can't talk today, like, I'm not feeling it, like that is
That,
healing
yeah.
to me. And
Also,
then,
like, that is also you being a good friend, I
exactly.
listened to this podcast with Jay Shetty and Simon Sinek, I think. So it was
Yeah.
about friendship, and they were talking about that, like, in terms of, like, the best way for you to show up is by really being honest and being yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be, like, cool if I were to not being able to show up, but still show up, but then I'm like, oh, I don't really want to be here. And
Right.
then, yeah,
Yeah. And then if you just communicate it, then the person knows, oh, it's not about me.
yeah,
It's not
me,
about our
yep,
relationship. They just can't talk today. You know what I mean? They just gotta rest, or like they
yeah,
don't got the money to go out today. Like, whatever
that's,
it is.
yeah, yeah,
So that has been very healing for me. And I think that's a part of, you know, having boundaries. And that's very important as you become an adult, an entrepreneur. Now I'm about to be a new mom. You got to set these
yes, we're
things in
about to,
place.
yeah. So now that you're in such a beautiful season, of not only building community, but also you welcoming a whole human into this world. How has being pregnant shifted how you think about the work that you're doing right now?
Oh, that's a deep question. I was just talking about that in therapy today.
Wow. Okay, I'm in your business. Hey.
Yes, definitely. I am definitely stressed because I'm like, wow, we got, this nonprofit, which is a baby. That's my baby. And then we got an actual baby that I'm bringing into the world. So, you know, and I think when you're also like pregnant and about to be a mom, like, you're giving so much
Mm-hmm.
of your literal body
Mm.
to a life
Yeah.
that, like, it's very hard to give any other energy to anything else.
Yeah.
And that has been kind of nerve-wracking for me because I'm like, safe space is so much of my energy, and I
Yeah.
love to
Yeah.
do it, but now I don't have as much, to
Yeah.
give.
Ooh. Yeah.
So for me, it's just been really like leaning on my team, and also, yeah, Jazz especially, to kind of take over, while I'm gonna be transitioning into this
Yeah.
new period of my life. And then that's like as far as I can see right now. Like, I don't know what it's
Yeah.
gonna look like after the baby gets here and
Yeah.
after postpartum
So
gets
them.
here.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I
We
know
don't
is
know.
right now, and then these next few months. That's as far as I can see,
Yeah.
kind of. So, but otherwise, all I know is like, it's not going anywhere. And I just have to tell myself that, like, whatever emotional thoughts I have is probably mostly hormones,
Yeah.
too temporary. And yeah, just take it one day at a time.
If someone just asked, oh, what does this next chapter look like now that you're going to be a mom? Do you have like a certain idea, or just kind of like what you would like it to be?
Coming into this next chapter, with a safe space and being a mom, I would love to have a lot of support, have a real big team that's on top of things, and also have like financial stability in the
Yeah.
organization. It's tough with everything going on politically right now.
Yeah, yeah. But even with that, like, how do you find the strength to keep going? Do you have like, okay, I'm about to be a mom and all that, and then outside is just like there's all these political things happening and affecting a lot of nonprofits right now. So it's like, how do you keep going?
Yeah, we just keep having to. make shifts, little shifts that allow us to keep doing the work. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, we didn't receive as much sponsorship this year, but just asking community to support us, even even with a dollar, has been, a shift that we've had to make due to everything happening politically. So we're just like, okay, this is happening, but the work has to continue. So what's going to be the solution? And we just find solutions for it because, work can't stop. So yeah.
This has been a very amazing and dope conversation. And of course, like now you have a studio, brick and mortar, which is also scary. How are you navigating that for the space as well? Like, how is that going?
It's been going good. That has also been scary. That's another baby. I have triplets, I guess. But yeah, again, like I have a great business partner in Jazz, who has luckily done this before, had a brick and
Mm-hmm.
mortar. And I have a great partner, my soon to be husband, who keeps me, just level headed at home. And yeah, with having the brick and mortar, for me, I'm just taking it like everything else. I'm like, we're trying this out. We're going to shoot our best shot. We want to provide a home and sanctuary for our community for the nonprofit. And we're going to do the best that we can. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not really putting too much pressure on it because I don't have that energy to. So I'm just kind of like, we just do the best that we can and see what happens, really. But it's been beautiful.
Yeah, and even like being able to offer these things like more on a consistent base. Obviously, I'm also part of the team, and the whole team is always just like ready to help.
Yeah.
Besides all those things, what is a piece of advice that you would give out to a 19-year-old who's like have this beautiful thing on their heart and they would love to bring it to life and are probably scared and probably have heard your experience and they're like, oh no, what would you say to them?
My advice is always like, don't hesitate. Nike, like just do it, just do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, like just do it because both entities that I've started, I really knew nothing about what I was doing. I didn't have any, funds or investors or anything to back it up, and like have reached such success and did so much without anything, and like just learned along the way. And even though the first company, like I had dropped it, that was a
Yeah.
learning moment for me to
Yeah,
start.
that was also like, yeah, like a good, like we said, the best.
Yeah. And it was great. Like that was my full-time job for a whole year. I had my own studio back home, like, and not a lot of 19-year-olds can do that. And it's, I figured out a way to fit the
Yeah.
pay the rent, to, do that retreat, to host all those people. Like, you just make it happen. Like, don't hesitate. Ask people to support you. I've always just how I've started this nonprofit and how I had the last company was just reaching out to people like, hey, can you drive me to this thing? Hey, will you shoot
Mm,
this thing? Will you partner with me on this event? Will you host our group for this thing? And like telling them the mission, telling them why, giving them incentive to partner with me. It's
yeah.
really all been through partnership. So,
Wow.
asking for help and not being embarrassed, like really talking whatever it is you're doing up, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
not up yet. Talk it up, fake it till you make it.
Period.
And just do the thing.
Just do the thing. This conversation has been so beautiful and as all of our conversations have always been. Do you have like a book or a podcast or something that you just kind of like has like also helped you, whether it's this week, whether it's through your journey, that you could share with us?
Oh yes, the Celestine Prophecy is like my
Oh my
Bible.
god, you keep telling me to read this book. It's literally on my list. What is this? What is it about? Can you tell us a little something?
The Celestine Prophecy is so good. It literally has like always given me the inspiration to just do the thing. It's really about this man's journey, and he finds like along the way these different I guess, damn, how can I say? They're like laws or whatever, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
spiritual laws that he follows to be able to achieve his goals, or like achieve like spiritual awareness. So, like, again, communication, your relationships, your past, how you treat other people, how you view the world. Like it just it ties into all these different things. And yeah, it's really helped me a lot.
Yay! Thank you so much, Thea, for sharing your book with us. And yeah, I hope you have a great night. Obviously, you and I will get lunch soon.
First, thank you for having me on your
Yay!
beautiful show.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, have a good night and tell Rob I said good night.
Thank you. I will.